Alright guys, welcome back to the 428 Shibuya Scramble. Now, if you remember, last episode, we went through Osawa's 11 to 12 story, and we found out he is actually the dad of Hitomi and Maria, who are the girls who got kidnapped. The only one I don't know so far who fits into the story is Tama. The only way she fit in was when we were Achi and we just helped those mafia. I was gonna say Yukaza. I think that's how you say it. Dudes in the direction I want to go. Anyway, so now we just have two guys, Kano, who we already met, and a new guy, Minorikawa. I'm gonna assume that's his name, but let's go and check it out. We don't know what he is or what he does, so the Super Cub 90 raced down Route 246 toward Shibuya. A motorcycle produced by Honda with an 85cc engine displacement. Common sight around town, often used by newspaper and postal delivery workers. Many owners have big enthusiasts, sometimes swapping out parts such as the handlers or muffler and giving the body a repaint. In fashionable bikes that don't even look like Super Cubs at first glance. I'll throw up a photo of a Super Cub 90. The speedometer remained at a steady 60 kilometers. Damn, these international. 60 kilometers to miles per hour. Try that again. 60 kilometers is 37 miles per hour, roughly. Pumping the gas harder was no use. This was as fast as the bike would go. Minoru shouted as he sped along. Damn it, I'm not letting you die! He jerked the handlebars and blew past a truck on the inside. The driver scowled at him as he shot by. You maniac, you trying to get yourself killed? Just the opposite! I'm just gonna call him Mr. M. His name is too long. M shouted back, I'm saving lives! The stoplight ahead turned red, cutting him off at the intersection. Oh, come on. He had no choice but to slam on the brakes. But his agitation boiled over as he waited for the signal to change again. How long is this gonna stay red? Hurry up already! He brought the bike right at the very edge of the line, keeping the engine revved like a dragster ready to peel out. Not on my time. Not on time is not in my dictionary. The light turned red. Still. Oh, turned green, you mean. Oh, the opposite light. And then M's own light turned green at last. He hit the accelerator as hard as he could. And his engine died with a sputter. That's what you get for dogging it. Oh, come on. What the hell? Car horse blamed angrily behind him. In a fury, he pulled his bike over to the side of the road. No matter what he did, the engine refused to turn over. What's the problem with the spark plug? Or maybe the battery. Whatever it was, he didn't have time to figure it out now. With tears in his eyes, he left the bike, his companion of 10 years, abandoned on the roadside. Wow, 10 years? He was about to break into a one when he saw a taxi dead ahead letting out a passenger. He hurried to hop into the cab. King Kong Company. Just head for Shibuya Station. I'll let you know exactly where once we get closer. The taxi driver nodded. Coolly. Of course, sir. 10 minutes! I need you to get me there in 10 minutes. The driver grimaced. I'm afraid getting there in 10 minutes is a bit. 15 then! Sir, that's still... Look, that's all the time I can afford. Assuming traffic conditions cooperate, sir, then... Oh. Let me read that. Look, that's all the time I can afford. Assuming traffic conditions cooperate, sir, then maybe. I can't make any promises. Em looked at the driver's ID photo above the fare meter. I can't read that. His name was Hachiro Kimisuka. Kimisuka. He was a middle-aged fellow, looked a little rougher on the edges. Mr. Kimisuka, I chose you for this. You can do it. Chose me? Sir, I'm pretty certain we met by chance. Okay, sure. I suppose you could phrase it that way. Anyhow, can we get going? Alright. Kimisuka said with a faint sigh, I'll see what I can do. The taxi pulled away at a decent clip. M's frantic journey had started 20 minutes earlier. He had been at home working on an interview piece. He clicked his tongue in annoyance. That's what I meant. As the ringing phone broke his train of thought. Why did someone always call right when the words were flowing? If he didn't keep getting interrupted, he probably could wrap up this piece in no time. Be quiet! He pointed at the television and he yelled, telephone, I'm writing here! But his shouting did nothing to silence the ringing. He didn't have much choice but to pick up. M speaking. There was no response. Hello? He hesitated, ready to hang up. Was this a prank call? It's me. It's Toyama. I can't put a voice because I don't know if it's a girl or a boy. It was T.O. Toyama, the president of Heaven Publishing. Hard-hitting non-fiction books and tabloid-style scandal rags. The invincible journalist, penned by the company president himself, was a candidate for the Japan Non-Fiction Prize. Oh, what do you want? If this is about work, I'm already booked pretty full. He'd taken work from Heaven Publishing on several occasions, but the pay was hardly competitive. Lately, he'd been turning them down a lot, so he hadn't heard from Toyama in a while. No, this isn't work-related. And what do you want? I'm kind of pressed for time here, working on some copy. And was in no mood to beat around the bush. It seemed like every conversation he had with Toyama went like this. Ah, you're busy. That's good. Busy's good when you're a freelancer. Toyama sounded unusually sympathetic. I find it off-putting. I hear sales have been good on your end, he said cautiously, with this month's 4-Star General Gossip and all. 4-Star General Gossip was a monthly magazine Heaven Publishing's flagship publication. A magazine found on the private lives of celebrity and politicians, or random nonsense, but out of every 100 contains an actual major scoop, making it a difficult outlet to ignore. It had a small circulation and for the most part flew under the radar, but once in a while they land some big scoop and sell like crazy. This month's edition had come with a free scratch card, a gimmick that had moved 100,000 copies with ease. 5 winning symbols in a row wins 100,000 yen, was it? A weak, moist sound came through the receiver. The fuck does that mean? Baffled, M listened more closely. Came again, and then again. Counter sounded like sobbing. Mr. Toyama, are you crying? There was another soft sob, and then yet another. What's going on? Where are you? At the office, Toyama managed. He let out another Mingliu whimper. What's the matter? It's nothing. Well, it's gotta be something. Come on, what is it? Toyama gave no reply. Mr. Toyama, are you still there? Silence. What is it? What happened? Look, doesn't tell me anything. What the hell is going on? Toyama squeaked out a drawn-out whine. Okay, I'm sick of this. I'm hanging up now. M was about to break the connection when he heard Toyama murmur. The only thing I can do now is die. What? The taxi lurched to a sudden stop as the driver slammed on the brakes. Ow! M pitched forward, his face smacking against the back of the seat in front of him. Kimizuki stuck his head out the window. Careful, buddy! Careful, buddy! He shouted at someone in the street ahead. You're gonna get yourself killed! Oh shit, it's Kano! M blinked the stars from his eyes and saw a man moving alongside the cab. The guy grabbed onto the handle of the back door. Please, I need you to let me have this cab! No way! M snapped. Just who did this guy think he was? Please, I'm begging you here. Look, I'm in a hurry, pal. Get your own cab. I know how ridiculous this must sound, but please, this is really, really urgent. Urgent? Yes, it's a matter of life or death. Please. The guy did look pretty desperate. Look, I'm sorry, but I'm dealing with something urgent here too. Then let me ride with you. I'll pay for the whole fare. My entire future's on the line here. The guy sure was persistent. Maybe he was telling the truth. But M had problems of his own. Sorry, buddy. It's life or death on my end, too. I gotta look after me and mine. Right. So sorry to trouble you. Finally, the guy gave up and shuffled away. Guess it couldn't have been that much of a life-ending crisis after all. M checked his wristwatch. Damn it! That just cost us 5 minutes! I'll try to make it up, sir. The driver called back. Taxi lurched into motion, the engine quickly revving up to speed. Once inside the building, he avoided the elevator in favor of rushing up the stairs. Heaven Publishing rented out the 3rd and 4th floors. In all likelihood, Toyama would be at the editing department of 4-star General Gossip on the 4th floor. When he got there, however, the door was locked. Mr. Toyama! Hey, Mr. Toyama! He shouted and banged, but there was no reply. Something was seriously wrong. M took a deep breath and then kicked the door in. Whoa! The sight as he stepped into the office filled him with horror. Let me see. What? Fuck. Too late. M clutched the sides of his head. Hey, my exact words. I'm too late. Damn, rest in peace, Mr. Toyama. Oh no. If only I'd gotten here a little sooner. What? Oh, I gotta make Kano avoid him. Blah blah blah. It was really all Kano's fault. Check his 11:10 timestamp and the situation might become clearer. Okay, so we're gonna go to Kano's 11:10 timestamp, and then we will see, and then we will steer him away from the taxi if we can. Let's go check it out. As he wandered through the back alleys, Kano gritted his teeth. Going after the guy on the bike had been a bad judgment call. By the time he got back onto the pedestrian overpass, the man who stole the briefcase was almost out of sight. Kano prided himself on being fleet of foot, but even he knew he would never catch the guy before he disappeared. He followed the culprit as far as the alleys, but there he'd lost him completely. All they could do now was hope one of his colleagues caught the man on the motorcycle. Kuz's voice crackled through the earpiece. Mobile Command Center calling all units. Suspect on the motorcycle was handed off the case to an accomplice in Mishida Park, another foreigner. For real? Kano muttered. One thing immediately struck him as strange. Why hand off the case to someone else at all? Why not just escape on the bike? The man with the motorcycle dumped the bike and fled on foot. Oh, the man on the bike. The man with the motorcycle dumped the bike and fled on foot. We retrieved the bike and run the plane. We determined it was a stolen vehicle. We still don't have enough details to positively ID the suspect. The suspect is now carrying the briefcases headed to Dogonzaka, also on foot. We've got him under observation. Dogonzaka, huh? That wasn't too far from Kano was now. Looks like we're dealing with a foreign crime syndicate that's familiar with Shibuya. Oh, hey, all units head to Dogonzaka. But do not, I repeat, do not attempt to apprehend the suspect with the case. Let's see where he goes. Kato nodded himself. Without knowing more about the crook's MO, letting this guy go for now was probably the only right call. I just want you to know one last thing. Kuz's tone grew more solemn. Whatever happens, I know I can count on each and every one of you. Don't disappoint me. Over and out. Kano had the unsettling feeling that the message had been meant for him. Right, it's now or never. The sudden appearance of the syndicate and its bizarre actions were rapidly moving things beyond the jurisdiction of both the MPD, Metropolitan Police Department, and the local police. Mustering was resolved, Kano headed for Dogonzaka. Jesus. Kano pulled out a cell phone. It was Rumi calling. She knew full well he wasn't supposed to take private calls while he was working a case. Maybe it was an emergency? He decided to pick it up. Rumi? I'm sorry. Are you in the middle of something right now? Kind of. Is this an emergency? Well, yeah. So I'm in Shibuya right now and... Shibuya? Why did you have to be in Shibuya now, of all times? So, my father came down from Nagano all of a sudden. What? Rumi's father, Shizo, had been staunchly opposed to the two of them getting married. Kano had visited his home many times, but the man never even deigned to meet him. Yeah, he told me to tell you he wants to meet with you. What? Now? Kano blurted the words out with more alarm than he intended. I told him you were busy working, but he said he'd wait. This can't be happening, Kano whimpered to himself. I'm sorry, I know he can be demanding. That's not the issue. Her dad offering to wait made it harder for him to refuse. Alright, Kano said, but I'll have to call you back later, okay? I really am sorry. I'll be at a cafe called Le Trek. It's by the train station. Rumi hung up. For a long moment, Kano stood in his daze, staring at his phone, as if keeping up with the case wasn't stressful enough. At last, he stumbled into motion, but even as he scoured Dogonzaka for any sign of the criminal, his mind remained fixed on the meeting with Rumi's dad. There was no way of knowing when he'd be done with this casework today. Could he really pass up on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get her father's approval for her hand in marriage? Odds are this will not be the only once-in-a-lifetime experience Detective Kano winds up having today. Maybe he could slip away for just a bit. There were plenty of detectives still tailing the suspect. Taking 15 minutes or so to meet with Shizo wouldn't be such a big deal, would it? No, bro! Now is not the time! Kano shook his head to clear out the foolish impulses. What the hell had he been thinking? A girl's life was on the line! Thank you! Marrying Rumi was more important than anything, but now wasn't the time. Besides, now that he thought about it, running out a critical investigation to meet with the old man probably wasn't going to score him any points. Rumi's dad didn't strike him as one who would approve of shirking one's responsibilities. Kano would just have to wrap this kidnapping case a little ahead of a schedule, and then have a proper sit down with Shizuo. As he considered this plan, he caught sight of the man with a briefcase walking by. What? Further up along Dorgazaka in the direction of the purpose heading was where Yamete Dori joined Route 246. Maybe the guy was planning to meet up with a getaway driver? No, wait, hold on. If that were the plan, then why would the gang have ditched the motorcycle earlier? Kano started trailing the man, whacking his brain all the way. The suspect turned down a narrow side road. He wasn't heading toward Yamete Dori or 246 at all, but back toward Shibuya Station. What in the world is going on? It was starting to feel like the crooks were just messing with the investigation team. Kano radioed Curve on the wireless. Sir, I don't think there's any point in seeing where this guy leads us anymore. That's not your call to make. Keep watching him. Sir, this is a waste of time. The girl might be in danger if... Kano's argument was cut short as he saw the man hand off the briefcase to yet another foreigner. Again? How many times are the criminals going to pull this trick? The detectives broke into two groups to follow both of the men. Kano followed the man with the briefcase, and who eventually led him back to the area toward Shibuya Station. Rumi and Shizuo could be waiting at a nearby cafe right now. Kano tried to remember the name. That's right, it was called Le Trek. Numerous works. He kept his eye out for a place by that name as he tailed the target. Before long, he did spot the cafe. Its large plate glass window offered a view of a cozy interior. The sign out front read Le Trek. Looked like this was the place. The man at the intersection was waiting for the light to change. Kano took the opportunity to peer inside. He spotted Rumi right away. She was facing away from him. So the man seated across from her must be her father. Kano realized he'd never seen a picture of him. Shizuo grew organic produce up in Nagano nowadays, but until 2 years ago, he'd been a detective with the investigation division, handling crimes such as murder, kidnapping, and arson. They were regularly dispatched to aid in investigations. Okay. Rumi looked up to her father for his distinguished police career and always spoke quite highly of him. Kano had figured that if he could become a policeman, Rumi might appreciate that. It was the simple impulse that led him to join the force. He had also figured that public servants could stay afloat even in times of recession, and that his physical training would serve him well in such a line of work. Once he was a policeman, he thought he could approach Shizuo with his head held high and ask for his blessing in marrying his daughter. But after Rumi graduated from university, Shizuo had up and retired from police work. Even Rumi didn't know why he'd made the decision. Kano had traveled to Nagano many times to ask Shizuo for permission to marry her. But the only response he ever got was, "I'm not giving my daughter to any cop." Kano hadn't even got past the intercom before her father turned him away. Years on the force made Kano lose sight of what had driven him to become a policeman in the first place. And now, the chance to meet Shizuo face to face had finally come. He peered intently into the cafe. Across from Rumi sat an older man with a grim expression. Just who was this hard-faced fellow? It took a lot to rattle Kano, but the guy looked scary. Could this really be sweet little Rumi's father? The prospect of meeting with him later filled Kano with sudden dread. The man went into the JR Shibuya station and stood before the ticket machine. Looked like he was planning on boarding a train. A scene from a popular movie about a kidnapping sprayed into Kano's mind. Where the crook made off with the ransom money after it was tossed out of a window of a train. What if this guy managed to get outside the dragnet and pull a stunt like that? It looks like the suspect is going to board a train. Kano informed crews over the wireless. Make sure you stay on the tail. Apparently crews still wanted to string the perp along for a bit. We've got lizards ready to pursue. Japanese police lingo for motorcycle squads deployed to pursue a suspect in urban settings. We'll re-establish our dragnet around whatever station he gets off at. The man purchased the tickets from the machine and passed through the gate. There was no way to tell what station he bought a ticket for, but it looked like he was heading clockwise along the Yamanote Line loop. Kano used his prepaid card and made his way to the ticket gate as well. An announcement chime signaled the intermittent arrival of a train up on the platform. The man made his way up the stairs looking calm and composed. He showed no sign of checking for pursuers. Kano hurried after him. The man stopped at the very edge of the platform to await the train. Not ideal. There was no way for Kano to get close without sticking out like a sore thumb. The train glided up to the platform. The man gave a quick look around as he stepped aboard. Kano followed. Trains on the Yamanote line didn't stop for long, and soon they were on their way. Glancing around, Kano noticed other MPD investigators who had slipped aboard the train as well. The suspect stood behind the driver's compartment, staring contemplatively at the scenery outside. The man's composure only served to rattle Kano more. A man in a gaudy necktie walked past Kano, talking on his cell phone. Yes, everything's fine on this end, he said. There's no need to worry. In his other hand, he carried the same sort of briefcase as the man they were tailing. He headed right toward the driver's compartment and stood next to the suspect. Well, now that's not suspicious. Kano leaned his head subtly, trying to make out what he could of the phone conversation at the end of the car. Yes, of course. 225 pages, all fully proofread. 225? Kidnapping for profit and kidnapping for ransom. Accordingly, 225 is police shorthand for kidnapping. That was police jargon for kidnapping. Was this guy in cahoots with the kidnapper? Maybe the criminals had planned a briefcase swap. Kano watched the newcomer like a hawk. Rather than making contact with the suspect, the man turned around and strolled back the way he'd come. He hadn't done anything suspicious at all. Yes, right. Uh-huh. Understood. Kano stole a glimpse of the man's face as he passed. He stopped and looked at Kano, seemingly aware he was being watched. Kano decided to... I'm just gonna look away. Decided to look away nonchalantly. But his anxiety got the better of him, and after a moment he turned his gaze right back. Damn it! Damn it, Kano! Soon the two men were locked in a staring contest. Oh, my apologies, the man said. He shut his phone with a click. I know it's rather rude to talk on one's cell when you're on a train. That's just common decency. The man affected a smile and then headed back to the car from which he'd come. Yeah, you fucking douchebag. Sheesh. Guess I overreacted. You gotta stop staring at everyone. An oddly dressed passenger murmured into Kano's ear. Blend into your surroundings more. What the fuck are you wearing, bro? Sasayama, when you get here? His partner had somehow found time to change his disguise. The steely expression on his face was at odds with his anime nerd getup. Kano had seen Sasayama disguise himself as plenty of things throughout the years. Oh, it's quite rare for Sasayama to actually wear a suit. He'd go unrecognized. Here are some of Sasayama's common costume designs from his evidence book. Santa is a must for Christmas. Stakeouts with a smile, keep presents in bag to calm down children in case of emergency. Here's the anime. Use this for train stakeouts. Filled with posters and figurines. Glasses are crucial. Don't forget awkward smile. Bag of merch? Going too far? Point is to draw attention in crowded train cars. Prize possession clutch to chest. Disguise for stakeouts at dockside warehouses. Tragic expression, sunglasses, suit and posture amplify wild animal side. Let co-workers know beforehand as to not be mistaken for the real thing. Arrest crooks while practicing discipline. Might help to stop funeral robbers. Handcuffs up sleeve. For nighttime stakeouts, hardcore material, plenty of exposure. Emphasize bulginess in final version. Chief, magician, samurai, and an astronaut to name a few. But this was a new extreme, even for him. When he first joined the force, Kano had found Sasayama's costuming antics amusing, wondering how he managed to find his outfits. But lately, his quirk had become tedious. You like the ocean? Huh? Never mind. Sasayama pulled out a small bottle from his breast pocket. Drink this while you can. Guessing you haven't eaten. Huh? What's this? The least I could do. He handed Kano the bottle and slipped away into the next compartment. Don't drink that! You're on an empty stomach! He's gonna regret that. Kano pulled an all-nighter and hadn't eaten, so he was glad to have something. He took the sip. Whatever this was, it was bland. It almost didn't taste like anything. Just what had Sasayama given him? What the heck, anything's better than nothing. He brought the bottle to his lips and chugged the contents down. Oh boy. He suddenly got a massive head rush. He felt the heat. A heat like a burning that spread from his insides throughout his whole body. No, that wasn't right. It was an ache. It was a ferocious ache. A burning that spread from his insides to his fingertips. And there was pain. A numbing that spread from his insides all the way down to his toes. Burning, aching, hurting. Burning, aching, hurting. Burning, aching, hurting. Twitchy, itchy, dizzy, sleepy, chilly, willy-nilly. This was not good. This was super duper not good. He broke into a cold sweat. His forehead drenched, his body damp and clammy all over. He felt the grip on his consciousness slipping. Sasayama, what the hell did you do to me? With bleary eyes, he squinted to read the writing on the bottle. Burn. Uh-oh. After a scant few letters, Kano blacked out. What? Damn it! Kano blacked out after drinking an unknown substance after drinking it. He was just passing along the sample he got from someone in a mascot costume. Alright, that's where I'll end today's episode. Next time, we will be fixing Kano's bad end to fix M's bad end. And that's gonna have to be done. That's gonna have to be done Tama. So we will do that next episode.